In October 2025, OpenAI issued a joint statement, alongside actor Bryan Cranston, the actors' union SAG-AFTRA and major talent agencies including Creative Artists Agency, CAA, and United Talent Agency, UTA. The announcement declared that OpenAI will strengthen guardrails on its video generation app Sora 2, specifically concerning the replication of celebrities' voices and likenesses without consent. The catalyst for the push for change was clear. Cranston discovered AI-generated videos of himself circulating via Sora 2, one notably depicted him apparently taking a selfie with Michael Jackson, despite never having consented to such a portrayal. In response, OpenAI apologized for unintentional generations of his likeness and pledged to collaborate with SAG-AFTRA and the talent agencies to ensure stronger protections. The joint statement also threw public support behind the proposed federal legislation, the No Fakes Act, as a framework to guard performers' voices and images. SAG-AFTRA President Sean Astin emphasized that Cranston's situation represents countless performers facing similar risks, and declared that opt-in consent must become the standard for AI firms working with likeness and voice replication. What happened and why it matters. When Sora 2 launched, on September 30, 2025, it quickly rose in popularity for its capacity to generate short, realistic videos from text prompts. However, the platform's earlier operational policy reportedly allowed user generations of public figures' likenesses unless those individuals explicitly opted out. In practice, this meant users were able to create videos of well-known figures, including Cranston, without their consent. This led to an influx of viral content, deepfake-style videos showing public figures in imagined scenarios that never occurred. The example of Cranston with Michael Jackson grabbed headlines, but it was part of a broader trend. For example, the estate of Martin Luther King Jr. formally requested OpenAI pause depictions of King's likeness on Sora 2, citing disrespectful uses. OpenAI complied. For the entertainment industry, the implications were significant. If a prominent actor like Cranston cannot control how his image and voice are used by generative AI, what protection exists for less well-represented actors, background performers or estates of deceased public figures? The incident accelerated the conversation around consent, rights and the fast-moving world of generative media. The shift toward consent and protection. In its joint statement, OpenAI acknowledged several key points. The company reiterated a policy that should require opt-in consent for using a living person's voice and likeness in AI-generated media. It stated it had strengthened guardrails around replication of voice and likeness when individuals haven't opted in. OpenAI committed to expeditious response to infringement complaints. It publicly supported the No Fakes Act, making its alignment with legislative efforts explicit. On historical or deceased figures, OpenAI noted estates or authorized representatives may request exclusion of their likeness from Sora 2. For example, the move regarding Martin Luther King Jr., for SAG-AFTRA and the talent agencies, this marks a pivotal moment. Gone, for now at least, is the assumption that generative AI will automatically treat likeness and voice as fair game. The position now emphasized, performers must have choice and control. As Sean Astin put it, opt-in protocols are the only way to do business. Broader implications beyond Hollywood identity and consent in the AI era. This episode underscores how generative media challenges personal identity and control. When a tool can create lifelike videos of someone without their approval, it raises severe questions of autonomy and digital rights. Precedent for digital rights. OpenAI's public adjustment sets precedent. Platforms offering generative content must account for rights holders, not just users. This ripple is likely to affect advertising, social media, gaming, metaverse avatars and beyond. Industry legislation convergence. The joint statement demonstrates convergence between the tech sector, creative industries and lawmakers. With OpenAI backing a legislative act, no fakes, the boundary between policy and platform practice is narrowing. Trust, innovation, and governance for AI firms, trust and legitimacy are becoming non-negotiable. Platforms lacking robust safeguards risk backlash, regulatory attention, and reputational harm. The meta challenge: how to empower creativity while preventing misuse. Remaining questions and challenges. Despite the promising statements, many practical challenges persist. Technical transparency: OpenAI hasn't fully detailed the technical changes. How will vetting, detection, watermarking or takedowns work in practice? Global jurisdiction: likeness rights vary across countries. How will policies apply to non-US performers or international users? Deceased individuals: while estates can request exclusion, legal status of likeness of the deceased remains uneven. The case of Martin Luther King Jr. offers a preview of how this may evolve. Enforcement scale: with millions of user prompts and video outputs possible, monitoring misuse at scale remains difficult. Commercial value and compensation: consent alone is one dimension. What about compensation, licensing or revenue sharing when someone's likeness is used in a generative setting? Ethical and cultural impacts. Diminished anonymity and autonomy: when anyone's look or voice might be used, even jokingly, the concept of personal identity becomes more fragile. Tech outrunning law: generative AI evolves rapidly, laws often lag. The No Fakes Act is a step, but will it be sufficient? Dual use risk: tools built for creative expression can be repurposed for misinformation, impersonation or defamation. Power asymmetry: Hollywood stars of voice and representation, lesser actors or non-public figures may be more vulnerable. Balancing innovation and rights: generative tools hold creative promise, films, education, avatars, but must not trample individual rights in the process. What to expect going forward? Detailed policy disclosures: we may soon see platforms like OpenAI publish transparency reports and technical breakdowns of how they protect likeness/voice usage. Contractual reforms in entertainment: talent deals will increasingly include terms specific to AI-generated likenesses and voice clones. Regulatory momentum: the No Fakes Act may progress or influence other jurisdictions, EU, UK, California, to enact broader synthetic media protections. Tooling for provenance and detection: expect more watermarking, metadata tagging and detection systems to identify AI-generated content. Trust as competitive differentiator: AI providers may compete on being rights safe, appealing to creators and enterprises wary of misuse risk. Public awareness and media literacy: as AI-generated videos become more common, educating the public about how to recognize synthetic media will be key. Conclusion: the collaboration between Bryan Cranston, SAG-AFTRA, major agencies and OpenAI signals a significant shift. The stage is no longer just about creative novelty, but about who controls identity in the digital age. That Sora 2's early viral videos triggered formal industry action is telling. The statement moves the industry away from a default everyone's likeness is free material mindset to a clearer expectation, consent, transparency and respect. Yet, the real test is still ahead. It's one thing to announce guardrails, quite another to implement them reliably at massive scale and across jurisdictions. The creative, legal and technological communities now face a critical task: designing frameworks that let generative AI flourish without undermining personal rights. The Sora 2 incident may mark the beginning of a new chapter in how we navigate AI, identity and the future of media. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next one.